welcome to Ask Earl Anything. This is a special quickie Ask Earl Anything. I filmed the next episode of Ask Earl Anything, which will be coming out the week of March 11th. I'm not sure what day I'm going to let it out. It's probably going to be closer to the end of the week because I'm going to put this quickie out probably on the Monday, and this is Sunday. So I just want to do this special Ask Earl Anything because it's going to be focusing on one question, and it's one question from one of my viewers who had a question about how I make drum covers, and I missed the question for the end of Ask Earl Anything. So I'll be honest, this quickie is coming from me missing the ending. But truthfully, I'm going to try to show some of the process with some video that I'm going to talk over. So I'm going to explain the process, and then I'm going to add some other video to kind of show how the whole process kind of works. So the question is this. It comes from a guy named Stephen Anthony, a relatively new viewer. I don't know, he may have been around a long time for all I know anymore. And his question was, Earl Bennett Earl Drum, that's what it says here. This is kind of a dumb question, but I want to start doing actual covers, but I don't know how to. I don't know how the process works. Like, do the headphones are just to hear yourself, or does the music come from the computer and you just layer the drums and music? I'm so confused. All right, Stephen, it can be daunting. Now let me say a couple things. First off, a good friend of mine on YouTube, Jeff Holden, has got a great series on how to actually do everything. But I'm going to explain my process. And Jeff talks about everything from doing it with just your camera and the music, or going the next level, getting a mixer and the camera, okay, and the music, and or going to the third level, which is the level that I'm at, which is having what they call a digital audio workstation, a DAW. So I'm going to explain this process, and hopefully I'll add some video on top of my explanation. Now, everything starts for me with picking the music. And there's many sources to get music for drum covers on YouTube. There are a whole lot of drumless tracks that are on YouTube. And I've talked about this on Ask Earl Anything a few times. There's one called Free Drumless Tracks, I believe his name is. Another one called Jones in 77 or something. You just put drumless tracks and you'll find some guys that have drumless tracks. The recent Blues Traveler videos I've done, and by the way, we're going to use the video I did today on Sunday, and it may be featured in the video. It may be featured as kind of what you'll be seeing some of as we're I'm talking over this and Ask Earl Anything later on. But the way I did that was I found the drumless track on YouTube. I went to my iPad. Now my iPad I use for a multitude of things. It's got Spotify on it, it's got YouTube on it, it has the controller of my computer for Logic. I use Logic Pro 10, Pro X, Pro 10 audio. That's what I use for my DAW. So I have actually a program that runs a mixing board. So where I started for this one was I went in my iPad and I went to my YouTube. Now this is the mixing board for Logic you're going to see here on the screen, which you barely can see. But we went over and I basically went in. Oh, I started to click. How wonderful. That's the track. It thinks I'm recording too, which is not true. So let me pop out of that. That's how it works. So I went in here and I basically found YouTube. And I have YouTube over here. I pulled up YouTube. I found the drumless track. And I have a cable coming from here into my mixing board. And it goes from the mixing board into Logic, which I have a track that's recording what's coming out of my mixing board, straight into Logic, and I recorded the drumless track. So it wasn't me downloading anything, it was me recording from the iPad into the mixing board. There's other ways to do this, but this is the way I do it, okay? The next part of this process is once I've got the drumless track, then I go into Logic and you can see my template, okay? And you see my template, and I record over top of this template, which is basically got the microphone set up for my drums. And I basically then come back over here, put on the headphones, pull out Logic Control, okay? Go back, and I put the headphones on here like this, and I start the track. So let me show you how it would kind of look like for me. And I actually leave the speakers on, and there was a reason for that. Number one, I'm not doing a clean recording. I'm actually trying to do something where I'm gonna have to sync this audio up with the camera. So I like the camera to get the early clicks. So you're gonna hear early clicks, and then you're gonna hear the track. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have an idea how it starts. What am I hearing in my headphones? I am hearing the track. What else do I hear in my headphones? Well, I have a mix of my drums from the microphones. Okay? So all the microphones are mixed into my headphone mix too, and I've got the track against the headphone, the track and my drum mix in the headphones. Now, when I've got a complete track and I'm happy with it, and I've got cameras going on, usually 2 or 3 cameras, depending on what I'm doing, sometimes 1. By the way, on this particular track that I just did, and I will not use the audio on this, I can tell you that, but on this track that I just did, basically what happened was I had one great take with 2 cameras, and then one of my cameras went out. The battery died on it. I tend to push things right to the edge. The second camera was still playing. I caught the whole take. That was the take I really liked. The other one's not bad, so I actually put 2 up on YouTube for myself. One will be an alt take for other day, someday, and I'm not sure which one's going to win, if it's going to be the 2 camera or the 1 camera. But what I will do now is I will go back to my digital audio workstation. I will play with my audio. I will mix the track in Logic, and then I will turn it into a WAV file, and then I will save it into a folder, and then I will bring the video into Final Cut, and then in Final Cut, what I will do is I will then take that video and I will marry it to the audio, and then I will cut the track basically in Final Cut. And basically what I'm going to do is cut my cameras up and make the camera effects look right. And at the end of the process, I will render it down to an MP4 file, and then I will upload it to YouTube. And that process takes anywhere from, the quickest I do these sometimes is in an hour. That's when I'm really quick and I've got an easy song and I knock it out in 2 takes or 1 take. To sometimes I'll spend 2 to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours on something. Okay? But that's the process. It goes from the audio in Logic coming back at me, I record the track, I record the cameras, then I got to go mix it. Now my mix process is pretty quick because I have a template. It's faster than most guys on mixing. I actually have a template set up. I go boom, 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 pop it in. I always am tweaking and making adjustments, but I don't spend a lot of time. I have to be honest. So anyhow, Stephen, I hope that gives you a little picture of what this whole process is about. And thank you for watching this Ask Earl Anything Quickie on how I make drum covers. Have a great day.